Imagine the worst economic news you can think of. People losing their jobs by the millions. Headlines screaming the word recession. Experts on television, calm and serious, telling you it is only going to get worse from here. Now imagine that on that exact day, the stock market goes up. Not down, up. It sounds broken. It sounds rigged. It feels like the market is living in a completely different universe than the one you wake up in every morning. And if you have ever stared at a green stock chart on a day that felt anything but green, you are not alone. But the market is not broken. There is a hidden logic underneath all of this, and once you can see it, you will never read a financial headline the same way again. Quick thing before we go further. I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. This is just how the machine actually works, explained by someone who watches it every single day. Here is the one sentence that unlocks everything. The stock market does not price what is happening right now. It prices what it expects to happen next. Read that again because it quietly changes the entire picture. A stock is not worth what a company earned last year. It is worth what investors believe it will earn in all the years still to come. So when millions of people buy and sell, they are not voting on today's economy. They are placing bets on the economy 6 months, a year, even 2 years into the future. That is why traders call the market a leading indicator. It moves before the real world does. The headline in front of you describes the present. And very often, the present is old news to the market. Which brings us to the two most important words in all of investing. Priced in. When everybody already knows something bad is coming, the market does not politely wait for it to arrive. It sells in advance, it reacts to the fear long before the event ever shows up on the news. So by the time the terrible headline finally prints, the damage was done weeks, sometimes months earlier. Think about it like a movie that everyone already knows is sold out. Nobody is shocked when they see the sold out sign on the door. The surprise happened earlier the moment the tickets disappeared. Bad news works the same way. The market reacts when the fear appears, not when the headline confirms it. So the bad news lands. And the market shrugs. Sometimes it even climbs. Why? Because the only thing that truly moves prices is information the market did not already expect. If the news is bad but less bad than everyone feared, that is actually good news to the market. And up it goes. This is the trap that catches almost every beginner. You see a frightening headline and you think, the market has to crash now. But the market already crashed. It crashed back when people first got scared. By the time you are reading about it, you are reading the last page of a story the market finished a long time ago. Let me show you 2 times this played out in real life. Not theory, history. Go back to March of 2009. The financial crisis. Banks were failing. The S&P 500 had fallen 57% from its 2007 high, more than half of its value. Gone. It genuinely felt like the financial system itself might not survive the year. On March 9th, 2009, the market hit the bottom. The single worst day of the entire crisis. And here's the part that breaks people's brains. The unemployment rate did not peak that day. It kept climbing. It kept getting worse for 7 more months, all the way up to 10% that October. Sit with that for a second. The economic news kept getting worse. And yet, from that dark March bottom, the market had already begun one of the largest and longest bull runs in history. By the end of that very same year, the S&P 500 was up almost 65%. The market bottomed while the world still felt like it was ending, because the market was not trading the pain in front of it. It was trading the recovery it could already see coming. Now jump to 2020. The pandemic. In barely a month, the S&P 500 dropped almost 34%. One of the fastest crashes ever recorded. Entire economies shut their doors overnight. And in April of 2020, unemployment in the United States hit 14.7%, the highest level in records that go all the way back to 1948. Total catastrophe. So what did the market do? It bottomed on March the 23rd, 2020, and then it rose 29% in under a month. By August, it had completely recovered everything it lost. And by December, while the pandemic was still raging across the world, the market sat 16% higher than it had ever been before COVID even started. Same pattern. The news was at its absolute darkest, and the market was already staring past it, pricing in the rescue it expected to come. So why does this keep happening over and over in crisis after crisis? Part of it is mechanics, that the forward-looking nature we just talked about, but part of it is something deeper, and it lives inside you. In the 1970s, two psychologists named Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky discovered something strange about the human brain. We do not feel gains and losses equally. The pain of losing money hits us roughly twice as hard as the joy of making the same amount. They called it loss aversion. That single quirk is a big part of why markets crash harder and faster than they ever rise. When fear takes over, people do not sell calmly. They panic. They sell to make the pain stop all at once, often near the very bottom. The crash overshoots. It falls further than the facts alone would justify because terror is doing the selling, not logic. And then slowly, the panic fades. People look up and realize the world did not actually end. The worst case did not happen. And the market snaps back, often just as violently as it fell. So here is the mental model to keep with you forever. The economy is the weather outside today. The stock market is the forecast. When you watch the news, you are seeing today's storm. When you watch the market, you are seeing what investors are betting the sky will look like months from now. That is why the two so often move in opposite directions. They are not contradicting each other. They are measuring two different things at two different points in time. Underneath all of it, two emotions run the show. Fear and greed. Fear drags the market down too far when everyone assumes the bad times will last forever. Greed pulls it back up when people remember that they usually don't. The news feeds the fear. The recovery feeds the greed. Round and round it goes in every generation and every crisis. So what do you actually do with all of this? 3 things. First, stop using headlines as buy or sell signals. By the time news reaches your screen, the market has almost always reacted already. You're not early, you're late. Second, understand that the scariest moments are often when the market is quietly turning. I'm not telling you to go buy a crash, I'm telling you not to panic and sell into one, because that is exactly the moment when fear is most priced in, and when loss aversion is screaming the loudest in your ear. Third, separate the economy from your investments in your mind. A bad economy does not automatically mean a bad market. They run on 2 completely different clocks. That one distinction puts you ahead of most people who have been investing for years. So go back to where we started. Imagine the worst economic news you can think of, and a market that climbs right through it. It is not broken. It is not rigged. It is simply looking somewhere you weren't, at a future you could not see yet. Once you understand that, you stop being surprised by the market, and you start to understand it. I'm Buck. I'll see you in the next one.